So Season 6 is just right around the corner right now. It's the season that we've been waiting for. You know, we had that really toxic Season 5. And Season 6 seems that maybe it can fix it up a little bit with, you know, the Junkrat changes, with, of course, the Orisa, the Widowmaker, the Mercy changes, the Diva changes, all these changes. And I hope that it does do something, and I feel like it actually will quite a bit. And today I want to talk to you guys about the changes, I guess, that'll really change the most. And mainly just how to easily climb in competitive Season 6. Mainly by talking about the best duo queue combinations. Now, of course, you can climb in a lot of other ways that I'm going to be covering very soon, but I feel like as far as the one thing that you want to keep in mind is that duo queuing is just almost always the best way to help yourself climb. Even if you are both at the same exact skill level, it makes it that you're playing with a player that you know isn't a troll, that you know is going to be a good pick for your character, and that you know is going to play well and actually communicate with you and actually do stuff like that. It's very important to find a duo queue to go with. I know I personally, sometimes have problems to find one, but if you can, it's very important, and just try your very hardest to, as it'll help you a lot. And today I'm going to be talking about the strategies that work really great in duo queues, and should help you a lot in yourself in climbing with this slightly changed meta. Now with this said, I want to mention as well, Season 6 changes don't change way too much. However, I feel like they do nerf dive quite a bit, and the King of the Hill changes are just kind of cool. And that's all I'm really going to say about those so far. With that said, let's just talk about the main ways that I feel like you can climb in no real particular order. All these I think are pretty good in my own opinion. Now, the first thing that I feel like is going to be very strong, probably the strongest thing that you'll probably want to focus on doing, is going Far Mercy with the new Mercy rework. Now, of course, Far Mercy was always a really good strategy to climb. Especially, I'd say, anywhere below Masters, or even Masters and below. If you duo queue Far Mercy, it's very hard for people to deal with you. If they don't have a super good DPS main, a super good hit scan main, it was really hard to deal with that. And as well, just with the Far Mercy, knew how to flank, they knew how to do a lot of different tactics, they knew how to go in with their team, and they knew how to just poke with Far and Mercy without being way too easily killable. Yeah, Far Mercy can just do a lot, and we all know about that. But I feel like with this new Mercy rework, it's just like the old Far Mercy, but even better. Mainly because now, if you are duo queuing Far Mercy, you can pocket the Pharah a lot better than you used to be able to. Mainly this is because your new res mechanic. Now you have a res like every 20-30 seconds, so, Pharah dies, you can res. And then, if Pharah dies again, you can ult and res again. That's a lot of lives for the Pharah to have, essentially 3 lives. That's a lot of chances for her to do well, and a lot of just damage that she can get out. As well with this, I feel like mainly with Mercy, with the new changes, she can be insanely safe while she's playing with Pharah. She can be super far back, way behind walls where, Pharah is shooting the opponents, but you can't really kill the Mercy. So what you gotta do is either pick someone like Widow that can one-shot the Pharah, or maybe have 2 DPS, like 2 hit scans that can hopefully headshot the Pharah fast enough to kill her while she's getting healed. It's kind of hard to deal with, and by that I mean it's very hard to deal with, and I feel like it's going to be something that maybe isn't nearly as good in higher ranks and doesn't work nearly as well in higher ranks. However, if you want to climb quickly in medium to lower ranks, essentially anywhere like Masters and below, I think this will be the easiest way to climb, one of the fastest ways to climb, and it already was, and I think it'll just become even better. Now, of course, Mercy won't be able to get, those super nice reses that she used to be able to get, but as far as the Far Mercy combo itself, I feel like that is going to be quite a huge amount better than what it previously was. Now, another thing that I'm going to tell you guys, the second strategy to climb is going to be playing a hit scan with Zenyatta. Now, this is mainly to counteract the previous strategy that I just talked about. Far Mercy, I feel like especially, is just going to be really hard to deal with, and I feel like it, Mercy with a few other characters as well, probably will help kill dive meta, and if dive meta dies even just a little bit, it'll make so that hitscan can do quite a bit better, and hitscan can have more room, hitscan doesn't get dived as much, and when that all goes on, you're probably going to want to get hitscan that can maybe counter the Far Mercy, and this is how you're going to do it, if you play a hitscan with a Zenyatta. Now, how this works is that you play McCree, you play Soldier, you play Widow. Any of those hit scans, I'd say probably Soldier is the most common one, but McCree I feel like actually can work maybe even a little bit better if you have a really godlike McCree. Otherwise, just go with Soldier. You just pick that guy, you hide behind a Ryan shield or a Orisa shield or something like that, and then you just have the Zen discord your target, probably the Mercy first, that's what you want to do, and then you just blast straight through her because you do have that extra Zen damage. And that's mainly just kind of how this goes. I feel like especially if you're playing even Widowmaker though, it can be really nice because, Zen can let's say the Mercy, and then you can get 2 body shots and she's dead, and not even fully charged, so that's really nice. And as well with that, you can go through a lot of healing if you do have that Zen Discord orb, so that's really nice as well. I feel like if you are playing a hit scan without Zen, a lot of the times it can just be hard to hit enough bullets consistently in a row to get through that Mercy healing, but if you do have that Discord, it can help you do that quite easily and quite quickly. Especially with McCree, if you can get headshots, and even just body shots, I feel like that can do a little bit more than Soldier. Because of course Soldier does do okay against Pharah, and I feel like he does counter Pharah. But with Mercy, it's kind of hard. You often don't have enough burst damage. But yeah, both of them do work really well, and I feel like those guys will be very good. Not even just to counter the Pharah Mercy combo though. You know, I'm focusing just on that right now. But I feel like they're just overall quite strong picks right now. Zen does a lot of damage, boosts his team for a lot of damage, can get a lot of kills himself, and can honestly carry more than really any other support. Maybe Mercy can now a little bit more with the new, ultimate with that gunfire. Maybe, I don't know. And maybe Lucio can on certain maps. But I feel like Zen overall, in general, can get a lot of picks, can get a lot of damage, and can do quite a bit to help his team out. While, of course, if you also have a hit scan, and hit scan isn't being 100% countered by dive meta, then hit scan usually becomes really good. And, if we see a lot more Junkrat, because his buff, hit scan does actually counter Junkrat pretty well as well, so that can help you against Junkrat, that can help you against people, maybe like some of the divers without the diving tanks. A lot of hit scan actually does kind of counter the divers if they don't have diving tanks with them, but if they do have diving tanks with them, like Winston or D.Va, you just get bodied. So we're going to kind of have to see how that goes. I'm hoping that dive goes down a little bit, and I do feel like it will get a bit worse, mainly with D.Va's right-click nerf. But we will have to see. And of course with a few buffs on some other characters. And mainly Mercy, I feel like, is actually going to be fixing this more than even characters like Junkrat. But again, we're going to have to see. We're going to have to try to just test out these changes, I guess. But I do think like hit scan is going to be a lot more important in this meta. And of course, hit scan with a Zen duo, that's going to be one of the best things to do. Now, one of the final things I'm going to tell you guys, the third strategy is very basic, but I feel like this is probably the easiest way to climb. Maybe not as quickly as the other two ways, but I feel like it is probably one of the easiest ways to climb, and that is simply become a tank main and start shot calling / doing initiations, and then also maybe get a Lucio to help, or maybe an Ana, or just some other support to help you, but probably a Lucio, because he can really help you actually get these initiations a lot easier. I feel like a lot of people just kind of don't realize how important tanks are. A lot of people just kind of think, well, I'll just play my DPS and, maybe we'll have a terrible team comp, but it'll be okay because I can carry with DPS. And while that does happen, a decent amount of the time, I feel like an easier way to win is to simply just play things that are very meta, play things that will just win you games, certain tanks that'll just win you games, make you a better team comp. And even if all your DPS is worse than all the enemy DPS, if they're behind a shield for the most part, they will most likely be able to do almost as good or just as good. And you'll also have that tank on your side to have all that crowd control, to have the all initiation power, to have everything. I've essentially been seeing little to no tank mains for a very long time, and I feel like they've always been strong. Tanks have been so good in the last meta, mainly D.Va. She was so strong, but not very many people played her. But now I feel like it's definitely the time where if you want to learn to play a tank again, and if you want to actually play a tank, I feel like it will be one of the easiest ways to climb, simply because you're making your team comp so much better than the enemies. Now, with that said, I'm not going to say it will be the quickest, because a lot of the times you're just not going to get the most, amazing DPS. But I feel like in general, you will increase your rune rate enough where you are climbing up. This happened to me when I was playing Zarya and a few other tanks. You start climbing up, maybe not instantly. Maybe you can't super hard carry every single game, but you definitely can help yourself increase without having to get a godlike aim as McCree, for example. As well with this, though, I feel like what's so important about tanks that a lot of people forget about is that you get to choose initiations. And if your teammates, let's say, aren't that great at aiming at far range, well, you can initiate, get close range, and all your DPS can hit their shots a lot easier on the enemy DPS while they're behind a wall being safe, or while they're behind a bubble being safe, or while they're behind a D.Va matrix being safe, or just even a D.Va hitbox. And you can really shot call these initiations, keep your teammates safe, and actually kill the enemy teammates. And that's nice. As well, though, if you have a Lucio, which I feel like is an important duo partner to do with this, you can get your initiations very quickly. And if you have maybe even no hit scan, you can still move so quickly up to the Pharah or to the Mercy that you can actually start taking them out, or just at least box them out. Let's say that you have a Reinhardt shield and you're just running up looking kind of upwards. Well, the Pharah can't really damage your team, so you can just box at the Pharah. Two of the opponent's teammates aren't doing anything in this team fight, and your team can, kind of just try to finish off the whole enemy team in a 5v4, which isn't way too hard. Overall, I feel like being a tank main and just playing tanks is a very good way in order to climb, and a very easy way in order to climb as well. And while it might take a bit more time than these other two ways, if you're willing to just put in, the time and effort, I feel like it's a little bit easier, and it will actually help you more in the long term, and mainly it'll make so that you're a lot less frustrated. I know when you're trying to become a DPS main, and even sometimes a support main, it's very frustrating. You can almost never get your role, and it just kind of pisses you off because you want to play the character you want to play. But on the other hand, if you play tank, which almost nobody does for some reason right now, because I guess they're just kind of boring, well, if you do that, you're going to be getting your role. You're going to be getting a lot better at them, a lot quicker, with better team comps, with better synergies, with all that stuff. And even if you don't want to play maybe just a main tank, even playing someone like Zarya that's still a damage dealer, but, kind of a tank as well, that's good enough in a lot of cases. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. These are just my own personal opinions about how to carry, though, and how to climb yourself up the ranks in Overwatch Season 5. Season 6, I mean, what the heck? Competitive. And, I hope that you guys learned something about what's going to be happening with the meta, what all the changes are going to be doing. And if you guys enjoyed, as always, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below what you firstly feel like the meta is going to be like, and who you think is going to be strong. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.